Hello everyone, the 316 here, back with another Morphin Monday Lightning Collection review. This time, I got the Gamestop exclusive Mighty Morphin Goldar. This figure came out in 2019, and I found mine at GalaxyCon Columbus. I paid $35 for this figure, which I think is more than fair, especially since this version of Goldar is the harder of the two to find. There is another version of Goldar that came out the next year, but he didn't have the wings, but he did have a better sword. And I think he may have had a better paint job. But I wanted to get this figure because he had the wings, and I want to make a Mighty Morphin movie display at some point. So I wanted to have him especially because correct me if I'm wrong on the comments, but he had the wings in the movie. Anyway, let's go ahead and start with our accessories. I just talked about two. He comes with a sword. He comes with two sets of wings. He comes with an effect piece for the sword that fits on almost perfectly. And he also comes with 4 hands. He comes with a left-fisted hand. And he comes with a right choking hand, is what I call it, like he's grabbing someone by the throat. You can kind of do that. I'll look at that in a minute. Anyway, getting the sword out of his hand is a bit challenging. Also, getting him to stand was challenging. Come on, you sword. Yeah, his thumb is... Okay, well, here's the effect piece. It's a nice purple color. We've seen that effect piece later on in the line. I think it was in green and blue once. Trying to get this out of here. Yeah, so I can just leave it in, you know. It's not hurting anything. But we can get a close-up of that sword. It looks the same on the other side, too. But... yeah, looking at the package, you want the serrated edge on the inside, which is the nice sharp bits. They're not actually sharp. It's plastic, you know. I mean, plastic can only be so sharp. Let me go ahead and put him in a standard A pose, is what the cool kids call it. And here's an open holding hand where he also has those, like, claws on them. What type of animal is Goldar supposed to be? Do they ever say? I mean, he kind of looks like a mixture of a few things. In the Sentai, I mean, they're kind of based on, like, devil creatures, I think. Reminds me of the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz. Took me a minute there. See, trying to get him to stand with the wings on, he's got problems. So I'm actually going to take these off so that we can look at the figure more in detail. Now, these pieces back here that plug into the back, they are rubber. Usually the hinges are a harder plastic. Even on King Sphinx, they're the hard plastic, but these ones are the soft plastic. Very rubbery. This housing is hard plastic, though. All of this is hard, with a little bit of softness towards the wing section. You can easily tell which side is the right side, because you can see that the wings are dry brushed and there's a green dot on the gold part. I'm not sure what that's called. I could totally see someone using these parts for a scythe. This section on mine is really tough. It does not want to bend. This one, though, it's completely free, and it can spin. So there are the wings and the accessories. So let's take a look at the figure proper. And I'm going to get the box out of the way so it can focus. So I'm just going to give you a nice little, gloss over the figure. There's a lot of good going for this mold. There's really a lot going good for it. This was back when they didn't do the pinless joints, and I mean, it's not too bad considering how large the figure is. It's not super noticeable. You know, the gold kind of makes it look like it's part of the outfit, so I'm not really too worried about, figures having pins or not. It's really nothing that bugs me. Paint-wise, the gold on here that they did add is a really nice, it's not a bronze, but it's more like a brass. Like, it's definitely gold. And it's painted on the insides of the waistcloth here, as well as the sides here, all the way around. I believe this tail is painted, although I could be wrong, and this might be a separate part. I'm thinking, upon further inspection, Honestly, I think, yeah, this looks to be a glued on black piece, and then this is painted gold. The arms are not painted at all from what I can tell. The shoulder pads, though, those are painted nice. And then down here on the legs, none of this is painted besides the kneecaps, which is a red piece, but there's, just a little bit of gold on the center of them. And then we have the face print, or not face print, talking too much about Lego. We have the face here, which the eyes are painted nice, like perfectly centered. The teeth, they look pretty good. Maybe a little off, but I'm not complaining. Honestly, I think this is one of the best like paint applications on any Lightning Collection figure I own, to be honest. Because, like, look at that. That's perfectly centered. These look pretty good, although that one's really tiny on the left. I'm not sure if that's accurate. Anyway, in the back here, you can see where the wings plug in. And when those are plugged in, I'll show you how those go in. You just kind of shove it in there. A little bit of force gets it in. Let's see if I can get him to stand with the wings. Somehow I was able to get him in that pose you saw at the beginning of the video. But, yeah, getting the wings in there is not great, but it works. Really, the only issue I have with this figure is standing him up, because he is a little loose towards this section of him. Really, the wings just add a lot of weight. If they were a shallower, harder plastic, I think it would have been fine, but considering these are rubbery, I don't think it works as well. I almost want to get him to stand. Come on, I know you want to. He's gonna fall over. Yep. Maybe he has a bum knee. When I got him out of the package, he did have a bum ankle. Let's take a look at that. So you can see that, this one's in line with the foot pretty much, but this one's way off to the side. And, this does click. Or maybe it doesn't click now. I thought I got it fixed. Maybe not. Oh, well. I'll just stand him back up. Yeah, it seems like this is a little loose on mine. But he does have the standard Lightning Collection articulation, plus what I showed you in the wings. So, you got your swivel, you got your hip, you got your double jointed knee, you got your ankle joint, which I'll use this one because it's nice and clicky. And then you can twist that as well as do the pivot. Although on this figure it is kind of hard to ankle pivot. Double jointed elbow, if I can. There you go. And then depending on what hands you have in him, he's got the hinges. Actually, they're all the same direction. Never mind. He can do a full 360 on this upper swivel. It is ratcheted too, so it stays in place mostly. And you can get an ab crunch, but the rubber pieces kind of get in the way. Getting it back into position is a little challenging. Honestly, if you want to make this figure easier to pose, click that in once, and then you should be able to get him to stand pretty well. Let me see if I can move this joint. There we go. Clicked it once. Okay, okay, there you go. He can stand now. But let me go ahead and readjust him, and we can get a size comparison on him with the rest of my figures. He might actually be okay now. I just jinxed myself. Alright, he stands at roughly just over 6.5 inches, close to 6 3/4 inches. Alright, let's go ahead and start off with a monster. I was talking about him earlier in the view. I'll put him over here. King Sphinx. Yeah, the size difference between them is... yeah, I had a feeling he'd fall over, but he stood for a good amount of time. Anyway, there's King Sphinx and Goldar. You can see the size difference is like almost a full inch. It's pretty insane how big these figures are. I mean, again, I got him for $11, so am I complaining? No. Alright, let's go ahead and look at him next to some Rangers. We got red. We got pink. If I can stand her upright. Sometimes you struggle. There you go. I'd center him more in the shot, but he's going to fall over if I do. Alright, now let's look at him next to the Season 1 villains. Hopefully this female figure can stand upright. We got Rita. After 10,000 years, I'm finally free. Sorry. Here's Scorpina, who, I believe in the Sentai, they're a couple, and they have a child. Don't ask me how, I don't know. I do just enough research, okay? I mean, some of these seasons I know almost, by heart. I can tell you, oh, this is blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and lastly, I'm going to put him next to Finster. And he has trouble standing, too, sometimes. There you go. Let's get all 4 of those figures in shot. So really, we just need like a squat and a baboo, and we got season 1 of the villains pretty much. Minus like the Monster of the Day figures. But yeah, these 4 look good together. I'm digging this. Alright, let's get them out of the way. And last figure comparison I'm going to do here. We got, I'll do this. We got Mighty Morphin White as well as Amanda Connor Black and White Batman statue. Alright, that concludes the size comparisons. Now lastly, let's take a look at the box. He's probably going to fall over again, so I want to put him by the wall. Anyway, there's the render on the back. There's the legalese. There's the side that has the Lightning logo. There's the other side that has Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it does still have the Saban logo. And same here, it still says Saban, Lightning Collection, Mighty Morphin Goldar. And something interesting I noticed is that this one has a sticker. I think if you peel that off, it looks like the Wave 1 figures. So, interesting to note with that. Inside of the box is white with a black and a blue Lightning logo. So overall, good luck getting this figure. I would recommend it, but it's very hard to find, considering it was a GameStop exclusive 3 years ago. But if you're at a convention or a local toy store that's that specializes in vintage things, yeah, I mean, look for this. I think it's good. I wouldn't pose him with the wings unless you have a really good stand. All I have are these NECA stands, and they don't fit his feet because they're very shallow, whereas this is very tall. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, as well as liking the video, subscribing, and hit the bell. All of those help out the channel a lot. And as always, peace.